one of the big things about healthcare in the United States, specifically healthcare as it relates to children, is that it is frequently used as a political football. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, essentially, there is one big program in the United States that ensures that children have healthcare coverage, even if they are from low-income families, right? And that is CHIP, which is the Children's Health Insurance Program. Now, basically, every few years, CHIP has to be renewed by Congress. Oh, Meat Bomb, thank you for subscribing. Also, Irked, thank you for giving a sub to Jillyfish. That was really, really kind of you. And also, thank you for gifting a sub to Hannah Reloaded. That was doubly kind of you. So much kindness. So, every few years, CHIP has to be renewed by Congress. And so what this essentially means is that Congress turns children's healthcare coverage into a political pawn to use in their machinations. You would think it would be like this bipartisan thing. Everyone wants kids to have healthcare, right? Well, unfortunately, that's not the case. People are more than willing to use the healthcare of children to achieve political ends. So let's take a look here at an article from NBC. This is from a few years ago, but I think illuminating. 2 million kids will lose CHIP coverage right away, report finds. 2 million children will lose health coverage starting next month if Congress doesn't renew funding for CHIP by Friday. So, CHIP just turns into something they put off and they put off and they negotiate and they attach different things to it, and it becomes like a huge political thing. And this is a huge deal because 9 million kids are covered by CHIP in the United States every year. And if CHIP is not funded and CHIP isn't renewed, it goes away and kicks all those kids off of health insurance coverage. It's true. A lot of senators don't even want kids to have lunch meals. Yeah, true. Already, state CHIP administrators say parents are panicking about the permanent damage this has done to the program, set up to take care of kids who don't have health insurance through other programs. Congress failed to authorize funding in September, and some states have already started warning parents to get their last medical visits in while money lasts. We have panicked families wondering what in the world they have as options, so it's just very, very stressful here in Alabama. Yeah, CHIP is a universally popular program that's never been made into a political pawn before. This is the ultimate bad Christmas Carol story, said Jackie Spear, Democrat of California. CHIP has bipartisan support, but Republicans have been focused on passing a tax reform bill, their first legislative victory for 2017. Let me take a look. What was this 2017 bill? Oh, right. Okay. So, do you guys remember several years ago when one of the first things that Republicans did when Donald Trump got elected into office was pass trillions, like it was something like $2.1 trillion in tax cuts for the wealthiest people in America? Do you remember that? Well, guess what? That came at the expense of renewing CHIP, meaning millions of kids lost their coverage for an extended period of time in America. So, yeah, exactly. Last time CHIP lost funding, 3 million kids were affected. Exactly. So, in order to give rich people money, Republicans just kind of shafted 3 million kids at a go. My son had got in trouble at his old school for sharing his lunch with a kid whose family hadn't paid. Oh, that is awful, Jillyfish. Oh yeah, and they also tried to repeal the Affordable Care Act, which, yeah. Oh, Jellyfish, we covered healthcare in Michigan a little bit earlier, specifically mental health care in Michigan, and Republicans in the state were trying to privatize the mental health care system so that private companies could make more money off of the mentally disabled. It's not good there. It's not good. Didn't Reagan start that? Absolutely. Also, hello, public loser. Let's see. Congress has to fund CHIP for the holidays. Families need peace of mind that their child's coverage will not disappear as the new year begins. Unfortunately, 3 million kids lost their coverage. In my town, if a kid couldn't afford lunch, they got a piece of American cheese between 2 slices of bread, and they got maybe a milk or orange juice, and that was it. It was fucked up. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no good options here. If it happens after February 1st, then we're looking at rebuilding the program. Republicans, by the way, salivate at the idea of letting things lapse and then rebuilding programs, right? That the entire point Republicans have in rebuilding programs is how they can funnel money to private corporations through the rebuilding of a program. Even if it's CHIP, even if it comes at the expense of kids. Jamie Lynn Turner, there is absolutely no excuse for a kid to go hungry in America. There's no excuse for anybody to go hungry in America. There's no excuse for anybody to be without health care in America. There's no excuse for anyone to be homeless in America. These are conscious policy decisions that we make that prioritize the suffering of people who are poor for no reason. We make that choice. It is actually less expensive for us to house the homeless. It is less expensive for us to give people health care, and it is less expensive for us to provide food to people. And yet we don't do these things because on a gut level, a lot of people feel like the poor should suffer. And I think that's pretty gross, and we need to manifest the political will and the political power to make sure that we get things like Medicare for All. You're saying the things I've been screaming here for years? Absolutely. Jellyfish, know that you're not alone. So let's take a look at this U.S. Census Bureau data from 2018. Uninsured rate for children up to 5.5% in 2018. So children's public health insurance coverage is lower than in 2017. About 4.3 million children did not have any health insurance coverage in 2018, an increase of 425,000 children, or 0.6 percentage points from the previous year, according to the U.S. Census Bureau's annual health insurance coverage in the United States 2018 report released today. So, again, just to reiterate, 4.3 million kids in the United States have no health insurance whatsoever. If they get sick, if they have some kind of genetic condition, if they have some kind of disability, they are essentially completely screwed over by the current system we have in place. And the current system we have in place punishes kids for having the audacity to be born into families that are poor. Irked, thank you so much for gifting Jamie Lynn Turner a sub. That's very generous of you. Thank you so much. These kids need to make some capital, maybe put them to work in the coal mine. Unironically, Comrade Mac, if we let capitalists have their way, they would absolutely put children to work in coal mines. Absolutely. 100%. I can hear it. I can hear it in my head. Well, just put put the kids to work in an Amazon packaging facility. They can fold some boxes. It's not dangerous. And then 10, 20 years later, we find out that 500,000 kids died in Amazon factories. Like, yo, you were watching Vosh's stream and he mentioned me? Why did he name drop me? Also, Hassel Glasses, thank you for the follow. Versatype, thank you for the follow. Veronica Mouse, thank you for the follow. Rice-A-Roni Dish, thank you for the follow. Lemon Squeeze, thank you for the follow. Radioactive Garbage Punk, the coolest kind of garbage punk, thank you very much for the follow. Pythonin, thank you for the follow. The Weird Amorphous Blob, thank you for the follow. Hello! Thank you all for hitting that follow button. Vosh rad? I agree. Vosh is rad. My greatest sin is enjoying Vosh content as a leftist. But you know what? I'm a sinner. It's okay. Vosh just shouted me out? Awesome! I'm happy you're all here, because we are currently doing a Medicare4All organizing stream. I've been streaming for 4 hours. If I say something wrong, don't hold it against me. He was talking about this Medicare4All stream? Fuck yeah! Vosh bad. Okay, so what I need you all to do, we are currently organizing for, along with the Be a Hero organization. I need you all to go and click the link I'm about to put in chat, okay? That is the number one thing I need you to do. Click that Discord link, join the Medicare4All Discord. What the Medicare4All Discord will do, it will inform you about every state in the United States, what their status is when it comes to single payer, and it will also help organize both on state and national levels for pushes for Medicare4All. Also, one more thing, if you would like to sign a petition to strengthen the Medicare provisions within the current infrastructure bill, we have this right here. Please click that link and sign the petition, okay? Currently, progressives in Congress are pushing for coverage of dental, vision, and hearing in Medicare, which is something that is desperately needed. And also, we are trying to apply enough pressure to get the age lowered from 65 to 60, which doesn't sound like a lot, but guess what? It's going to benefit millions of people in the United States if that happens. We need those sweet, sweet dental and vision. True, there are people in this chat right now who would directly benefit from those expansions. Directly benefit, okay? Let's get this done. Let's do it. Vosh finally let us out of the basement. I needed glasses like 2 years ago. Yeah, I currently have braces on me right now. River killed the doctor. I have Medicare because I'm on disability and I would love to have dental and vision care. Absolutely. It's fucking expensive to have glasses in America. So many people just go like, yeah, I can't really see, but, I have to work. And they go to work for the gig economy and just, get in car accidents. We have so many different problems, and all of these problems are so interconnected that Medicare4All would help so many people, guys. I'm sorry, if you can't see, you're more likely to have an accident at work. And if you get in an accident at work, you're more likely to end up in the hospital. It's all interconnected. Just give people fucking healthcare. Give people glasses. Give people hearing aids. Give people dental care so their roots don't rot. I'm not a dental doctor. A dentist. You know what I mean. Welcome everyone from the Vosh community. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much. And again, to give you my little spiel, we're talking about Medicare4All today. We're talking about all of the issues involved with Medicare4All. We're talking currently about children as it relates to Medicare4All, because currently, or at least the data I could find, 2018, 4.3 million kids in the United States had no insurance of any kind, meaning that if they had the audacity to be born into a poor family, they were just fucked. And I don't know about you, but I don't like fucking kids, and we should maybe change that, okay? Let's collectively decide not to fuck kids and get Medicare for all. Great wordage with... I'm gonna get canceled for that one. It's the Gilded Age 2.0 up in here. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is currently 4:20 on the stream timer. Good ideas. I want the government funded to fund my estrogen for free already. Look, my ideal world, I want you all to be able to go to the pharmacy and get just like an entire bag full of estrogen, okay? Just it'll be packaged like Skittles, but instead of little Skittles, it'll just be estrogen, okay? You get like you rip it open, you just down the entire thing, all right? Smoke them if you got them. I don't want the estrogen, but I'll take it. The testosterone is delivered like those pixie sticks. You down an entire pixie stick. That's the testosterone. Histamines. Feminize me, mommy. Oh, irked. You're already feminized. You don't even know. It's the anime meme. You're already dead. Unironically, though, if you're a trans woman or a trans man or an NB, that meme is 100% accurate. You were always trans. You just don't even know. 77 Sage, thank you for hitting the follow button. Stanka NB, thank you for the follow. Flacktastic, Gaming Candy Bar, Emma Not Emma, Aaron Elise, Aaron Elise, Obriga, Designs 23, Fowler, The Joey, DJ M, the Weird Amorphous Blob. I already said that, but thank you all for following. I really do appreciate it. And Trama, are you clip chimping again? Alright. Jamie Lynn Turner, thank you for the 1 bit. And with that, let's get back to actual content. Let's do it. We're talking about Medicare for All for the next 40 minutes, and then we're going to have open call-ins. If you want to talk about your healthcare experiences, please do join our community Discord and hop in the waiting room. And in 40 minutes, I will be taking calls from different people, and just we can have a conversation about healthcare. Do you know about the Medicare for All push in California? I do. In fact, I have an entire primer here about the push for Medicare for All in California. We're gonna take a look at it. It's gonna get spicy in here, okay? All right, but first we're gonna finish talking about this topic. In a perfect world, wait. Excuse me. Give me my transhumanist nanobots. I'll settle for transhumanist like large robo limbs. All right. So 4.3 million children did not have any health insurance coverage in 2018. That's according to the US Census, which, by the way, is why US Census data is really valuable, okay? It helps us make policy. Children obtain health insurance from a number of different sources. Many have health insurance through parents' private plan, and many lower-income children may qualify for certain public programs such as Medicaid or the Children's Health Insurance Program, which, as we already talked about earlier before you all you lovely people came here, CHIP is used as a political football and was shafted by Republicans deliberately so that they could try and repeal the Affordable Care Act and then pass trillions of dollars for the ultra-wealthy. So maybe we should just have decommodified healthcare for everyone, including children, and not use it as a political football. Hasselglass. 5.5% of children under the age of 19 were uninsured, largely because of a decline in public coverage. To translate that for you, less children recovered in 2018 because there was less public coverage to cover them with. So basically the government under Trump, the Trump administration, deliberately just said, fuck kids. And then they just fucked kids, I guess. Not, you know what? I need to move away from this verbiage. Anyway. All right. Which children experienced the change? Overall, 5.5%. Yeah, it affected a lot of kids. Variation by income. Yes, surprise, surprise. People who were poorer got shafted by this more. Matt Gaetz did, literally. That is a good point, Mara dear. I didn't want to go into it, but that is a good point. I mean, Donald Trump did openly brag about looking at underage children, so I guess it all tracks. It all tracks, really. It all tracks. What did we just learn about fucking kids? I'm so sorry. A bunch of new people show up. I immediately alienate all of them. So, I used to work for a nonprofit that specifically worked with kids and helping to pay for their coverage. So here are some facts from the biz. Okay, this is what hospitals and nonprofits work with. All right. So we know that like 4.3 million kids had no coverage, but guess what? It gets so much worse in America, right? Because you're like, well, 4.3 million kids, that's not that many kids in the grand scheme of America, right? Do any of you want to take a guess at how many children are underinsured? Meaning that they have some form of insurance, but aren't necessarily, fully covered, meaning that the costs are passed on to their poor family. 20 mil. We got a 20 mil. We got a 300%, which is not a number that applies in this situation. 20%. That doesn't. All right, so we got one guess at 20 mil. We got one. No, it's not a percentage. It's not a percentage. I wasn't looking for that. The answer, 60 million? Okay, that's another number. It's 37 million. So, in total, around 40 million kids are either uninsured or underinsured, meaning that they cannot fully pay for their expenses, even with insurance. Also, when we're talking about Medicaid or CHIP or like Affordable Care Act stuff, half of the people covered by that are children. So when we're talking about these programs, we need to understand that it doesn't just affect adults. It's not like, you know how like Republicans are like, well, I don't want to pay for someone who made bad decisions with their life. Well, guess what? Most kids didn't make any bad decisions with their life. They just had the audacity to be born poor. So I don't know about you. I think that's a pretty good argument for just, saying fuck the like, I don't want to pay argument. Because guess what? We're going to have to pay for them anyway. We have to pay for everyone regardless. Like, the United States currently spends ridiculous amounts of public money subsidizing employer healthcare. That's something we covered earlier. And it's all a relic of the fact that we didn't get bombed to hell in World War II. So maybe it's time to update our system a little bit. They're already paying for the rich. Exactly. Exactly. And on top of this, race is a huge factor when it comes to health. When it comes to health, for example, 40% of indigenous youth face significant barriers for their health, meaning that indigenous children far more likely to be obese and have diabetes and have mental and substance abuse disorders. 40% of them, in fact. When we're talking about this, we also need to realize that when we're talking about what affects the poor, disproportionately the poor are black and brown people. They are, in a way, demonized. Like, those groups are in a way demonized by politicians so that people do not care that children that happen to be black and brown are suffering. Oh, jellyfish, that is actually really, really sweet. I'm disabled and I woke up on my birthday to my kid doing the dishes. Does he not deserve healthcare and food and education? He is precious. Protect him at all costs. I agree. Chat, protect that child at all costs. And when we're talking about this, right, like, it is an ongoing problem that we don't really have a good solution for, other than eliminating the means testing of these systems by making it a universal program. We talked about means testing a couple hours ago, related to disabilities and how disability and healthcare kind of mix together, right? Means testing only serves to hurt people. So let's just not do that. Like, it seems pretty straightforward to me. Let's not means test, and instead let's just decommodify the system so that nobody has to pay for it. And guess what? Here's the best way to frame it. Let's start from square one. Hey, you, average working and or middle class person, do you want to make more money at your job? Well, guess what? The best way to make more money at your job is Medicare4All. You know why? Because then you'll be paid your full wages. Because right now, your wages are withheld by your employer to pay for your health care. So, Lil Cap, thank you for the sub. So, literally, even if you have like an income tax increase, you are going to make more money because the amount your employer withholds for Medicare, like medical expenses, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And you will make more money if we get rid of employer-based healthcare. You will make more money, and you won't have to pay a copay, you won't have to pay a premium, and you won't be randomly sent a medical bill if you happen to be hit by lightning. So, let's get people more money in the working and middle class. How about that? Let's get working people more money. And then we can eat the rich. Oh, goodness. Are they cake? We can pretend. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services cites that nearly 1 in 5 children ages 12 to 17 have special health care needs. And the American Community Survey estimates more than 1.3 million U.S. young people ages 16 to 20 have a disability. So when we're talking about this, like, disability and coverage also affects children. And often it disproportionately affects children because children have no control at all over their environments. You know, you can't just tell, like, a disabled kid, get a job! You know, you can't do that. Like, apparently there was some, like, workers' rights struggle a long time ago and it's illegal now or whatever, but, You can't send a disabled kid down into a coal mine anymore. It's a real infringement on our individual freedoms. uh Oh, Kung Fu Bar, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. Sorry I missed you. But why should I cover your clucker of a kid? Because it's cheaper than not doing it. Also, it's more ethical. But I've found that arguing for like ethics and morality to a lot of conservatives gets me nowhere. And when I say, hey, you can make more money and actually it's more expensive to not do this, that seems to get a lot more right-wingers' attention, you know? Like, a lot of people are, like, intuitively like, oh, we should cover children. But when you explain we should cover everyone, then they're like, but that's too expensive. Well, but we already pay a lot for not covering them. And if we want these disabled kids to become successful adults, we need to give them tools to do so, but why would we do that? Yeah, well, and that's the other thing. Like, it makes sense to, for example, feed kids on a very basic level, because if you have malnourished kids, they're going to grow up to have more medical problems. So it makes sense to spend less money on just making sure that kids are fed. If we feed kids, there are less medical problems down the road, which means we save money as a society. But that's socialism? I know! Isn't it great? Feed rich kids the rich. Soylent. You heard of Soylent Green. Now let's try Soylent Wealth. Socialism good, actually. Very true. Very true. Socialism based. Youth who identify as transgender or gender diverse are traditionally underserved, and they, along with their families, are increasingly looking to pediatric caregivers for guidance. This is one thing that is really surprising, especially if you're not deeply involved in like the healthcare system. And it's something that causes me to absolutely like lose my shit whenever I see like Ben Shapiro types arguing about like how they have the real science. If you look at any hospital website in the United States that is for kids, almost all of them will have sections dedicated to like LGBTQ youth health. Like every single children's hospital, just about, in the United States has a specific like pediatric wing that specializes in LGBTQ medicine for kids. Because it turns out kids are gay and trans, and that's not controversial for the people who have to work with the gay and the trans people. Let kids be gay, god damn it. I agree. Being gay, pretty cool. Being trans, also pretty cool. Let's just allow kids to be gay and trans, and give them you know, hormone replacement therapy when they're old enough to like make that decision, which involves giving them puberty blockers so that they can mature and make rational decisions. Gay adults we're guy kids. Yeah, it's true. Make kids gay again. Being gay and trans at the same time is even cooler. Very true. Very based. Very true. And by the way, when we're talking about like mental health and like minority communities and making sure that we're catering to these people, remember that that is also a way of saving money. Like, we save money by treating people with kindness. We save money by taking mental health seriously. We save money by doing all of these things. It is cost efficient to be kind. It takes more energy to be hateful. Pointless, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. As one of the poors, I appreciate it. I'm of the mind that all children should be treated non-binary. Maybe people could stop being creepy around them. Mossy Stone. That'd be nice. It'd be really nice if people would stop sexualizing children, right? Like, I don't know, the best way, for example, like the best way to, I was going to go in a different direction with this, but one of the best ways to reduce the amount of child abuse that children experience is by educating them about consent and about sex. In fact, if you look into the research, there are programs that advocate for kids to learn about basic ideas about consent from like kindergarten onward, and also ideas about like what sex is from like early elementary school onward. Because guess what? If you give kids the ability to talk about what they're experiencing and to know like what is okay and what is not regarding their own bodies, makes it much less likely that they're going to be sexually abused. Yeah, the consent doesn't even have to be about sex. Exactly, River Killed the Doctor. It can just be about like it is not okay to touch my body unless I give you a permission, you know? And that can be about hugs. It can be about holding hands. It can be about like, I don't know, rubbing noses together. Whatever. Imagine learning about consent at 23 in the military. Before that, I guess it was about magic mind reading. Wait, Hasselglass, did you not hear about consent until you were 23? Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think anyone taught me about consent in high school either. I had sex ed, but that was mostly just about the mechanics. And that's why conservatives are against sexual education. You know, okay, I'm gonna be fair and balanced, okay? I don't think conservatives consciously are like, I want kids to be sexually abused. I don't think most conservatives come at it from that angle. I think that most conservatives just have a gut feeling about like, hey, I don't want to talk to my kid about sex. That makes me feel weird and gross. And then they just never have that conversation ever. Hello, Spooky. Yeah, my parents, the only talk my parents ever gave me about sex was my mom telling me not to have sex until I can support a child. That's it. Ooh, Quincy, you got me there. Ask how many conservatives are against laws of underage marriage in the US. Ooh, you got me there. We were told to say no to drugs, but not how to say no to unwanted physical contact. True. You're not my dad. Thank you for the follow. River Killed the Doctor. My parents were pretty conservative. But a lot of this stuff is just cost effective. Like, caring about people is cost effective. I don't know. Like, it also, teaching kids about consent is cost effective. That lowers costs to society. Because guess what costs a fuck ton? Costs a fuck ton when people get raped and have trauma and aren't able to, like, function. You know? That costs a lot. Trauma costs society a lot. And guess what? Maybe I'm an idealist. I would like to live in a world where people generally don't get raped. I would like that. I would like that a lot. Sadly, almost all of my female friends have stories about sexual assault and rape. It's awful. I'm not your mom. I'm definitely your daddy. Mental health care also reduces the cost of mass shootings. True! True. Imagine this, guys. Medicare for all. You have Medicare for all. Instead of becoming an incel and having to have your plot to murder numerous women foiled by the FBI, instead, you just go to therapy because it's free to go, and you're able to talk about your feelings like an adult. Imagine the possibilities of having a healthy emotional outlet for a lot of people. Feelings, commie. Feelings are communist. As a boy, I'm not allowed to talk about my feelings. That would be big gay. True, it would be big gay to talk about your feelings. But you know what? You know what's, like, worse? Being a loser. Being a loser is way worse than being gay. Like, infinitely worse. I know, right? Being a loser is the worst thing you could be. And I can't think of anything a loser would do more than commit a mass shooting. Public loser, you're an exception. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I like winning and not losing.